Hi, this is Danny from DareToDreamStudios.com, and I'm going to show you a little tutorial on how to use a texture overlay. The very first thing you want to do is open up the image you want an overlay on, and then we're going to open up the image that we want to use as an overlay. So browse to your overlay folder and pick an overlay. I'm going to choose some fog. Now once you have your image here, you want to resize it, so click Shift and left click and drag. This will keep your image aspect ratio and not distort it by clicking the Shift, and then just click Enter. I usually click right click and rasterize the layer just in case you want to edit anything on here. Now we're going to create a texture, a mask, a layer mask. So we click layer mask. Now whenever you're editing layer masks, be sure that, I don't know if you ever run into this where the layer mask didn't work, and it could be because you actually weren't highlighting the mask layer, so you want to click that. Now we're gonna make this into screen, change the, and so now you see that it's a great fog, except for my lady is kind of missing. So we want to bring her back to life a little bit. So we're going to select a black brush. I guess I should select black. And then we're going to just brush it off of our lady. Just like so. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You might notice this is a little stark for this image, I think. I mean, we want her to pop out of the image, but we still want the fog to kind of be there. So what we're going to do is, a really quick tip is you can go like this, click your white, and then just paint over. That's also great if you happen to mess up a little bit. So if I had gone over here, and then I could just erase it. So now we'll go back to our black brush. We're going to change the opacity to 50%. We're also going to change the flow to 50%. Now we'll just paint over her lightly. The only thing is, when you do the opacity on the brush, as you keep brushing, it'll lift more and more and more. So you kind of want to get it right the first time if you really want to keep it light. So other than her little head here, which, see, now once I lift up my brush, it takes off more, but there's still enough there to be okay. So that's how you use that kind of an overlay. I'm going to also show you a texture overlay. This is a texture overlay too, but one that's more texture-ish. So let's click place again, a grunge overlay, and this one's pretty much the size of my document. I'm just going to resize it just a little bit by clicking Shift and left click, click Enter. Then I'm going to rasterize this layer and make it a overlay, or make it a mask layer. And you make it a mask layer by clicking this little mask icon. Now we can do several things. We can use overlay, we could use screen, we could use soft light, which kind of makes it disappear a little bit. We could use overlay. For this purpose, I'm just going to use normal, and I'll bring down the opacity to about 60. And then I will just do exactly the same thing I did before, which is brush off. Now if you want her to stand out even more and have virtually no texture on her, because as you can see when I zoom in, there's a lot of texture left on her. So we could either keep doing this or change the opacity up here of our brush. Either way, it pretty much gets the job done. For now, I'm just going to leave it and keep going over it. Now let's zoom out and see how it looks. I think she looks pretty good. You could even be more creative and add more layer masks. We got a little bit of a halo around her, which could be from this. And if that happens and you want to fix it, you can just go back to your white brush and brush around her. And that actually, yeah, there we go. Just brush this around a little bit so she's kind of blended in there. Anyhow, so that's how you do a texture overlay.